And so it is my honor to say that by the powers vested in me by the City of New York, I now pronounce you husband and wife. John, you may kiss your bride.
The biggest challenge for couples is really the fact that they aren't on the same page. And it's really, like anything else, communication. It's just, if you know where each other is coming from, you can get to some kind of compromise. And that's a good lesson for a lot of things in life, but certainly with your spouse that you're going to spend hopefully the rest of your life with. The first tip is to first decide what name you're going to be. It's really important. You can be whatever name you'd like to be, but whatever you do, you want to be consistent with that name for when you're setting up your bank accounts, when you get your driver's license, and you need to change your Social Security card to whatever name you choose, so that later on you don't have a letter audit from the IRS saying, "Who are you?" The next thing you have to decide is how you're going to set up your accounts. Are you going to keep things separately? Are you going to merge everything, or are you going to do some combination of the two? It's really what works best for the couple and having that conversation. What I like about having two smaller separate accounts and then everything ultimately joint is that if you do ever want to do something nice for your spouse, you don't have to ask them for everything and they don't have to see anything. You can keep some of the surprise in saving up a little bit on the side. But it has to be an account that you can keep without having a lot of excess fees on a monthly basis. You really want to have a discussion on who's going to pay the bills at the end of each month. What has to happen is the person who's relinquishing control to the other person just has to know that that other person is the CFO of the family now. And they ultimately have the final decision on those money issues. You can't just hand them the paycheck and then make demands. Next, what you want to do is very soon after you're married, and perhaps before you get together, you want to talk about beneficiaries. You want to go through your old retirement plans and pensions you may have had at a former job, your life insurance, at your group through your employer, or perhaps on your own. Anything that has a beneficiary, you need to consider, are we going to update that to my new spouse? We often find there is a saver and a spender between the two. Even though you might not classify yourself as one or the other, when you put two people together that actually do get together, one person does lean one way and one person leans the other, so there will be a saver and a spender. I think it actually works better than having two of the same, because two spenders does not work. Two savers, you could say, would work, although you might argue whether or not they're really enjoying some of the money that they have. Oftentimes I find there is some kind of an opposite that does attract there, and it works out really well. You complement each other. So I think it can work well to do a combination of saving enough for the future, but also enjoying enough today, and that really makes for a good long-term relationship.
It's a good job.